Hi there, my name is Eli Fox. Thanks for stumbling upon this video. This week's topic is quite interesting. We're going to be talking about entertainment. As a Christian, we should be devoting our time to what God wants from us. God doesn't want us to watch Netflix all day. So I've made this video to help you avoid bad forms of entertainment, as well as dispersing the overall amount of entertainment you watch. My methods aren't foolproof, but they will help out. To start off, I'll talk about movies. This is geared toward people who see hours and hours of film content. However, I believe anyone could benefit from this so long as you keep God and power guiding you. Let's use some symbolism here. Take this block of wood. It represents the entire movie/Hollywood content. Now, cut it in half, because there are some movies no Christian eye should be seeing. This half now represents the bad movies, aka a few movies rated PG-13 and above. Get rid of that half. Your life doesn't need it. This half represents the okay movies, a couple PG-13 movies and under. You can keep this side so long as you don't use it too much. This isn't a foolproof method, but it will cut down on how much time you waste and ensure you won't find anything bad. Now let's talk games. Not board games, those are pretty harmless. I'm talking about video games. Now for this, finding a system to eliminate bad games is going to be more difficult, but I think I've got it. If it's rated under teen, it's probably okay. If it's easy to spend money on these games consistently, like mobile games, it's something you really do need to delete. Now, this may not be the most foolproof method of getting rid of bad content, so here's a little list of games that should certainly be avoided. Hatred, because of intense violence. The only purpose of this game is to commit genocide. Bubble Witch. At first, this seems innocent, but this game nullifies and underwhelms the legitimate evils of witches. It also makes it far too easy to spend money. Bayonetta. This is a witch game. Great. If you couldn't tell, this game's rated M. It's rated M for intense violence, suggestive themes, intense language, and partial nudity. Partial really should be dropped, because all she has in some scenes covering her privates is her hair. That's not partial, that's whorish. Grand Theft Auto. This is a game where you can drive around and climb mountains. That's about the only good thing you can do in this game. Everything else includes blowing up military and police, picking up prostitutes, stealing cars, murdering people, running from the cops, and crashing planes. Even if you are just driving or climbing, your character is probably cussing the whole way through. Yu-Gi-Oh! This card game is seemingly harmless, but think about what you're doing in the game. You have these cards that you can keep in your pocket, and when you pull them out, they become powerful monsters used to kill other monsters. The concept alone is bad enough, but add the fact that most monsters are paganistic in some way, and you've got something every Christian should avoid. I'm against these card games, the video games, and the TV show. The same applies for Pokemon. Street Fighter. This game is simply violent. That's it. Nothing but mindless violence wasting your time, instead of reading the Bible. Mortal Kombat. Much like Street Fighter, this game is mindless violence. Combine that with the pagan-like super attacks, and you've made a game that no one should even see. Okay, now I have to talk about something all to its own. Horror games. Some are mindless thrillers, and so long as they don't become your god by spending too much time with them, those are okay. It's when games resort to paganistic witchcraft stuff that starts to get bad. Some games are bigger offenders than others, but let's talk about one of the worst horror games, Slender Man. This game is lousy, primarily because of the main character. In the first game, there are only two characters, you and him. It takes place in a poorly drawn forest with some notes. Slender Man started off as a photo. This was then made into a bunch of games and even books. The game shouldn't have exploded in popularity, but it did. It looks really bad graphically, and I've read some of the stories. They're boring. This leads me to believe something is promoting it within our minds. This creature sparked two 12-year-old girls to stab their friend 19 times in the woods. The creator is said to be deeply saddened by what he made. Most people can play those games or see those pictures or watch the movies, read the stories without wanting to kill someone. These girls are being pled insane, but I don't think they are. What if they were influenced? Like I said, I've read some of the stories, I've seen the pictures, seen the games, read the movie summary. None of that compelled me to stab someone. This is something greater, and overall definitely something to avoid. Alright, let's talk books. If the books are nonfiction, they're generally alright. With fiction, if it's written after 1990, you might be weary. Again, that's not foolproof, but if you're considering buying a book, let God guide you as to what you should get. The same applies for movies and games. Here's a book author I avoid for personal reasons. I despise Dr. Seuss. Why? Because he cheated on his wife. Not only that, she experienced trauma and committed suicide while she was being cheated on. You can draw your own conclusion as to why she did that. So, I'm not too gung-ho to let children read his work. Also, books in the Stoneheart series are definitely ones to avoid. While reading it, I never noticed anything particularly bad in the books, other than some more paganistic magic. But as a kid, I was around 9 or 10, it really messed me up. I wouldn't be able to control my emotions after reading it. I wasn't sad at all, but I cried for a solid 10 minutes before my father heard me and helped. I don't have depression. I'm perfectly healthy, which leads me to believe there was something messed up in that book. My father prayed over me and returned the book to the library. This is one of those things that may have affected me, but not you. I don't want to see a devil behind every bush, but I would avoid it and simply not take any chances. All in all, these forms of entertainment aren't necessarily bad, so long as you know what to stay away from and make sure you aren't devoting all of your time to it. I cannot stress enough that this was geared toward people who watch hours and hours of entertainment. And I know I'll get attacked from both sides of the extreme saying you shouldn't watch any movies or play any games. But you must admit, all cutbacks are good. In the meantime, go read the Bible. Now that is entertainment. Thanks for watching. See you around.